What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, as always, we are in the OPTCG sim. We're running Magellan today. This was right after getting done with the Nami footage for the last video. I decided, like I said in that video, to toy around with some purple. Purple's pretty straightforward with what you want to use. I didn't run any Kaidos or anything, and this is after a couple of games of kind of getting an idea of how to run the deck. So we did end up in the Magellan Mirror Match, and this was really fun. Figuring out how to, trash the Dawn, bring the Dawn back, things like that. It was very different because I haven't played Purple yet too much. I think I played Kaido like once or twice off camera just to try to get a feel for it, and it's a play style that I'm not familiar with at all. So Magellan's leader ability is if you Dawn one, it gains 1,000 for the turn. So, and something I learned during this game, at one point I ended up giving my opponent's leader plus 1,000 for minusing a Dawn, which was really weird. Oh no, it was on their turn. Never mind. I understand why it worked now. I was really late when I was recording this, so it didn't click in my brain. It was on their turn. I used a event. It countered it -1 Dawn, and because it was their turn, they got the plus 1,000. So right now we are on turn 2. We've got the Hannibal out. The little Sadie brought the minnow koala out because of its Sadie's effect. I forgot Sadie was a 2K counter this entire game, so that's why you see me kind of fast with playing them. I, for some reason, was thinking it was 1K. They did the Sadie play as well, going second, and brought out the Minotaur, which has double attack, and then they also were able to get the Magellan out. Yeah, because they -1 Dawn when Magellan came out. So the Magellan character is very annoying, but if you're playing it, it's very awesome, I guess is the way to put it. So I use the 6-drop king in this deck. I think the 7-drop, though it has more Dawn you have to allocate to play it, is probably a little bit better, but the 6K worked fine for me, or the 6-drop. It's a 7K body on board, and it does return. So, or no, it KOs. It KOs, not returns. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. So, on the next turn, I think most people would go for the queen play. I believe I end up going Magellan. So, I did forget to put the Shikis in. The 2K counter with Shiki. I don't know what I was thinking for that. I literally just threw this deck together and started playing, and I wanted to try. Originally, I was trying to just get footage for compilation because I thought Magellan would be a cool leader to do for a compilation, and I will do a compilation on Magellan later. But at this point, the Magellan comes in. I take the life. I think my thought process was just to build up the hand because I know I have the Magellan. The X Drake is great, 2K counter, or you can play -1 Dawn. Opponent just has to trash a card. So we go to the Magellan, we -1 Dawn, giving our leader plus 1,000, which gives us a 6K swing on their leader or their Magellan. But if we go into their Magellan, we do have to -2 Dawn, I believe, whenever it's KO'd, which is why Magellan is very annoying to play against the character. So we're going to swing 6K. This game was very back and forth, just kind of us swinging, because whenever you're playing against both purple leaders, Kaido and Magellan, you're just wanting to swing and get their life down as fast as possible before, if they're playing Kaido, the Kaidos come down, because the Kaidos are kind of a pain in the side. But I believe my opponent was playing 9-drop Kaido, if I'm not mistaken. And that might be another game I'm thinking of. There was a few Magellan games I played. So Hell's Judgment, Judgment of Hell, I forget what the actual English name is. Great card, comes in clutch later on. You'll see. Thunder Bagua is pretty self-explanatory. It's in my opinion, it's kind of staple. I know people switch it out with another purple event sometimes, but I think Thunder Bagua is great. It's wonderful utility. but that's why Hell's Judgment's amazing. You can basically counter out of an attack and go ahead and shut down their other attack. And their Magellan, even though it got the plus 1000 from me playing Hell's Judgment, still gets the minus 2k for the effect of Hell's Judgment. So I was pretty sure they were going to try to swing with the Magellan there, and now we just kind of shut that down unless they allocate Dawn to it. And yeah, another moment of just waiting for my opponent to do something. That happens a lot in the sim. So we're on 7 here, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go into the second Magellan or not. It's kind of good to have 2 Magellans on board because your opponent really doesn't want to KO them, especially even with the Magellan Mirror. Even though it would give them a plus 1000 on their turn for KOing it without them having to play something to minus the Dawn, you don't want to lose that many Dawn. And with 2 Magellan on field, I believe that would be 4 Dawn gone. So yeah, you don't want to go after them that hard. So they do block with the Queen, which is kind of, I believe, what we were trying to bait out. And I believe here I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to go into the Queen or the Magellan. But again, you just want to swing face. We both have pretty substantial boards built up. Theirs is a little better at this point, I will say, because they have the 2 blockers on board. The little Sadie on their end doesn't really do too much, except for out of their hand it's a 2k counter plus the Minotaur, which was, you know, pretty big for them. But we go ahead with the Magellan for the 6k swing. We're leaving 2 Dawn open for either Bagua or Hell's Judgment, whichever one is better suited for what our opponent decides to do on their turn, but it gives us options. So that's why, even though I'm swinging face, I'm not allocating all of my Dawn to characters or my leader to swing with. With a full board, playing characters to minus the Dawn doesn't really make sense, but they do hit me with the Brachio Bomber, which I wasn't familiar with. I should have been, but yeah, it comes down and gets rid of my king, which sucks, but at the same time I'm not too worried about it. It's a big body off board, but it does free up a spot on my character side for me to just be able to play something else, essentially. And so we use the Hell's Judgment again, and here I was trying to decide, do I just take the hit and minus something else so they don't try to swing with that? But instead we're gonna save a life for another day. Minus the Magellan, both leader and character. They're on 3 Dawn at this point. I don't think they really want to use their blockers to swing yet, just because I do have still a substantial board. Oh, sorry, it's very early when I'm trying to get these commentaries out of the way. So the X-Drake comes down. We utilize the Return Dawn to go 1k on our Magellan, but they also have to trash a card from their hand. And with only 3 cards in their hand, that's, you know, pretty brutal. They do have 3 Dawn up, so I was hoping to maybe get the Hell's Judgment or Bagua that they may be running out of their hand. But we do get a 2k counter out of their hand, which is great. I'm not going to complain about getting a 2k counter out of my opponent's hand while also getting a 5k body on board. Though we did play a 2k counter out of the hand, but with a Bagua, well, actually 2 Baguas in hand, so even if we have to play a Bagua this turn, we have another one for a following turn. I know I probably should have played the Queen at some point, but I didn't feel I needed to, is why I haven't played the Queen at this point. I know I don't have any blockers on board either, but something about this game, I felt confident enough with what was in hand to not have to worry about things. So I believe this was a misplay. For some reason I was thinking that was a 2k counter, and it just wasn't, obviously. So I did have to give up 2, because at that point I had already dedicated to I was getting out of the attack. So it was like I might as well get rid of them. We do take the hit and get the Suzuki, which is a 2K counter, and so the queen, that's kind of where I was coming from with things, is just like keep the counters in hand. So we're both at 1 life at this point, and I have a feeling that if I can just survive, I can push for game. So it looks like this was not the opponent that played the 9-drop Kaido. So my opponent says GG here, and at first my brain said, oh, I am absolutely incorrect. There's the 9-drop Kaido. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So they say GG, but in my mind, I'm like, and I see him hit all the Dawn, and the 9-drop Kaido comes down, and I'm just like, oh great, you know, game over. But it wasn't, because I take the hit, but they don't have anything else to follow up with. And then we're coming back to my board with 2 6K Magellans and my leader, and all they have in hand is 2 cards. Now they have 3, and this is where I kind of have to math things out to kind of, you know, think, how do we hopefully keep them from countering out. They counter out, but they know I have the other Magellan. So ultimately we ended up winning. I know I did not make optimal plays, I know that, but I made good enough plays to win, and that's all that matters, is that you walk away with the dub. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and grow this channel even bigger. We're on the road to 1K. I know we just hit 100, but that's the goal, 1K, and then the watch time will come afterwards, and then we can make a little bit back off the channel to reinvest to make the channel better. And yeah, that's the goal. It's not to make this a full-time job or anything, but I would like to be able to get the channel to a point to see something back off the videos, so that I can reinvest to make bigger, better, more enjoyable videos for everybody. And if you liked what you saw, hit the like button, help us get out there to new eyes so we can grow the channel, while I also grow in my journey of playing the One Piece TCG and falling ever so more in love with this franchise. It's just absolutely amazing, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in, and until the next time, I will see you later. Peace.